Good evening and welcome to the Templeton Board of Health meeting. It's Tuesday, July 16th at 7 p.m. Open with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
On the side.
Yeah. They're just, I can look at it.
So to review the minutes from April 22nd, Thursday. Any questions?
They look
Okay to be approved.
good to me, and I can make a motion to accept the minutes.
I'll second it.
Okay.
Do I need to sign anything?
All in favor? Yes, so minutes are reviewed.
And it was unanimous?
Unanimous, yes. Okay, and the communicable disease update, Maureen?
I will be happy. Over that. Okay. So we're still keeping track of COVID-19, but just as an example, through June 29th, the 2 weeks prior to June 29th, we had reports of 15 molecular tests that were done, and there were 0 positive results for any of those tests. The only other communicable or diseases that we're watching right now is West Nile virus and Triple E. We are in the low category, so we're not currently being affected by it. But with that, we should talk about and remind people that water in your yard, in tires, in planters, in anything that holds water, stagnant water, immediately becomes a breeding ground for mosquitoes. And the deeper into the season we get, the stronger the virus becomes. So empty the water in your yards, use bug repellent with DEET. The whole dusk and dawn is when they're most prevalent. Our friend Jessica, Jess Case, who works with us, created a slide for me today for TCTV and Facebook. So it's just use insect repellents anytime you're outdoors, wear long sleeve clothing, schedule outdoor activities to avoid the hours from dusk to dawn during peak mosquito season, repair damaged windows and door screens, remove water from areas around your home. If you go online to mass.gov, you can get more details about mosquito-borne disease prevention, but Templeton and the area towns still continue to be low.
That's all good advice, definitely. You know, sometimes you have that one thing in your yard that's just collecting water.
For
That's
sure,
why you have a mosquito everywhere, but
for
yeah.
sure.
Right.
Also under the same category, Templeton was granted funds through MPHN for sunscreen dispensers.
Oh.
So we received 3, 2 of them are at Gilman Waite. MPHN, which is Montechusett Public Health Network, is maintaining them and filling them. We did have one at the Templeton Elementary School playground, but it interferes with their regulations on being able to apply sunscreen to children.
Yeah.
So it makes it more difficult with it there. So we are relocating that one. I'm talking to Bob in the DPS on where might be another good place for it, placement. So 3 of them,
Awesome.
which is really good. Put these back on. I have also heard that hand, foot, mouth is going around. So even though it's not usually deadly, it's still very uncomfortable. So if you can keep your kids' hands out of their mouths while they're after playing, which is really hard,
It's hard.
even for adults. That is going around.
Okay.
That is going around.
It's kind of unusual during the summer,
It is,
right? It's
but
usually
things have been unusual lately, so. Covered West Nile, triple E. And sunscreen. So I'm good unless you guys have any questions on that one.
I do not have any questions. It's great with the sunscreen dispenser stuff. Wonderful. Thank you. So we'll move along to the abandoned housing update.
So Albert Drive is well on its way. The electricity was restored. The roof was done first. They're working on the rest of it. There'll be some buildings in the back taken down that are not safe. They're doing a really nice job. And we are working still with the AG's office, and the 3 additional USDA properties are being looked at right now. So there's one on Turner Road in Otter River. There's the one on Hubbardston Road, and there's one on Shore Drive. Kind of sits up on the hill and looks over the pond. Those are all USDA properties that are currently empty. So those will probably be the next 3 that we work on.
Awesome. Albert Drive in a while.
Yeah.
So nice. Yep. That work is so important, Lauren. Thank you so much for always doing that.
Well, thank you.
Right, recycling regulation and discussion.
Okay, so for me, I feel that the Board of Health needs to look at the regulations. There is a lot of talk about it needs to be global for Templeton, not just one area. There's a lot of, for anybody who's listening, there's a lot of work going on over at the old Temple Stewart site. I want to make it clear that it is not construction. It is not the company who bought it doing work. It is EPA and Mass DEP working on it as a brownfield. They've done extensive testing over there, and we'll be getting more information when they're done. So there is work going on over there. It is excavation work. It is Mass DEP and EPA.
Okay.
With that, I've been doing some research, and I don't know how we're going to handle it. We have Rhode Island, who is doing a statewide ban on pyrolysis and gasification. There's towns and cities that are looking at it, doing it separately. We have a lot of things to talk about going forward if this is something you want to move forward with, and I think we need to look at it. I've sent you some information already. I will continue to send you information. And I think our next meeting in August, I'll try and come up with, I mean, I do have some ideas. But I think the public needs to be part of it. I think there's ways to do it. The solid waste management, the sanitary landfill, chapter 220, where it does the restrictions on the use of the landfill and the restriction on solid waste, where they define it, could be strengthened.
Okay.
And a Board of Health regulation is different than having to do a warrant article and go to town meeting. Board of Health, if it likes to strengthen or do a Board of Health regulation, requires hearings and submission to Mass DEP.
Okay.
And they decide whether it's or not.
They have not put any type of proposal forward yet, though, the company.
I have nothing in front of me, no site plans, no nothing.
So they're,
Does that mean in your mind, you feel like they're doing it right, Earl, or not?
no,
Like, okay. you always-
Because,
So you know more about that.
no, I just. I have an opinion, but I'll myself for now. Someone suggested me, people have been contacting me about it. And they asked because it is near a neighborhood, with the disaster that Temple Stewart became many years later. A lot of people aren't willing to risk, no matter how safe or whatever they say this is gonna be. A lot of them have grandkids and they're, generational houses and excuse me, whatnot. One person suggested that a petition,
A citizen's petition is another way of doing it.
and he had asked me how we go forward with something like that. And I said I would look into it for him. I said, but we don't have anything to petition against because there's been nothing. It's, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, take it for what it's worth. I don't think they want to let the cat out of the bag what they have planned until they're ready to do it.
Okay.
And that's just my opinion, because if the regulations and building and everything, I mean, you have to submit plans and whatnot. And they're having all this testing done when they purchase the property, so they've obviously invested money, and corporations have money, but they don't have time, so tying up their money, they're gonna, I would imagine if they get the chance, they're gonna expedite the process. So I think, like you said, I believe we should be proactive, whatever stance we take.
And again, I want to reiterate that I think it's global for the whole town. We're not looking at one property.
Oh, no, that's what I'm
Okay.
saying, yeah, as opposed to somebody else saying, well, they didn't do it here, let's move it here. No, let's not move it into Templeton, well, Otter River, East Templeton. Wherever they decide, something, even something to that effect wants to go, that's my opinion.
So curiously, I read an article that there are 18 US states looking to bring people like that in. Or companies that do that type of recycling. So what I will do is what I have pulled for information on different, like bills and other legislation. I'll send you
Okay.
what I've pulled. And I'll probably do that tomorrow because I'm going on 2 weeks vacation and I'm leaving on Thursday.
Okay.
So just so you're aware, I won't be in the office. I will take my computer with me and I'm going to turn it on as little as possible.
Please
You
do.
should.
So.
Well,
Bring it.
no, it's not that easy.
I know.
It's not
but
that
I
easy.
Tell myself that too. but-
Yeah, I know. But so I think we can start moving forward and thinking about how this should be handled. I do think the Board of Health, it is my opinion that this is the place for it. Okay, all right.
Have the selectmen weighed in, or are they aware of what's going on?
I believe they're very aware.
Have they
I
given
don't-
any type of opinion? Have they brought it up in any of their, I unfortunately haven't had a chance
don't-
to get to their meetings, but.
I don't think so. Terry Griffiths is very strongly involved. She did do an update last week at the select board meeting about what is going on down there because she was on the property to talk to EPA Representative Wayne. So Terry is very involved. I'm sure she's keeping her board members apprised
Okay.
and Adam. So yeah, we'll need to do it. It's a group effort. It is not singular for sure. And I have some ideas that I'll provide you with. Like I said, I'll send you some information. And I do think our legislature should be brought into it too. If
Yeah.
we can. Start small, go big.
Yeah.
Oh, I look forward to reading that, Lauren.
It really isn't funny, but
It's not.
It's a
funny,
lot.
yeah, I was
it's a lot and I'm not a
reading through what you said.
scientist.
Yeah, yeah,
So some of the things I've read. Oh,
right. You want to make sure it's data driven and fact.
right. And there,
These thoughts.
prior to my coming on board, and I think prior to this board, there was a study done
I believe there was, yeah.
and I cannot locate it for the life of me. but we've been through a fire and floods.
Yeah.
So we don't have everything that we started with. I can remember specifically Templeton had a map. It was when Rick Trifolo was on the board
Yeah.
and he kind of oversaw. It was a push pin type chart where they marked out.
Might be worth contacting Rick if you're watching.
Yeah, yeah,
Once he remembers
Yeah,
stuff like that.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'll keep looking for it. We have some old documents downstairs that I think I can go through and take a peek and see if we can find it, but I haven't had any luck so far. I did bring up all the documents and results from when they did the brownfield clearing in 2006. Where the houses,
2006 already?
it was before I came on board, and I came on board in 2007 as an administrative person. And it was just finishing up and we had, I have,
Yeah, no, I
if not all the
remember they did
reports,
it,
I have a
and it
lot
was
of the reports.
Not funny, but it was interesting to drive through the neighborhood and see the yards.
Yeah,
that were all
the yards being
different,
removed.
very-
Um,
around with Tony.
Oh, I was part of it.
You were. You
Yeah, I was
have,
gonna say
you
was
have your
yours.
reports.
Yeah.
And the way it was done is mind baffling.
Mhm. Where it started and where it ended was baffling to me at the time.
No, that's was,
But not yet. Well,
they had to remove a percentage.
Yeah.
And it didn't matter if it was contaminated or not,
Mhm.
they had to remove a percentage.
Well, it's kind of like cancer. They have to have margins.
Yeah.
They, if this area was contaminated, but we didn't want them to touch it, they would just pull up this end and say, all right, we've done our percentage and gone.
Oh, so, okay. So
Now, I don't know if that's
testing to
exactly
see-
verbatim what they did, because the
Yeah.
EPA, the guy, the gentleman I spoke to, I don't remember his name. He was excellent, he explained everything, and he was very, very nice guy, and he was very knowledgeable. And he explained what was going on, and he was always available, answered his phone, and was happy to talk to people.
So they didn't test what they removed, they just took.
I
Up
didn't
here.
get that involved in it, I just knew what they were taking up, and they take what trees they were taking down, and what they were planting back in. As they were moving, and how the whole
Process.
whatever, and then they decided that the weather moved from the west to the east, and it probably wasn't.
Migrating.
Yes, so they. It was interesting.
Mhm.
It was very.
I remember when they did it, like I said, that 2006. Like time goes.
It flies.
It's like,
does
oh
fly.
my gosh,
That is no lie.
crazy.
So
Yeah. Young girl.
it's definitely important.
It is.
So,
Oh, all right, well, we appreciate.
well, I have your blessing to move forward. So I'm gonna continue to look at examples that other cities, towns, states are doing. And I will try and provide some documents that can give us I am all about not recreating the wheel
Right.
kind of thing. Maybe we can get to it from there. Yeah, no.
Yeah, that's interesting that.
Well, I'll send you that
what
article
state- what
too.
States are they? Just curious.
Actually, it's. Actually, you can just have this. Oh,
Ones we wouldn't. be surprised.
Arizona, Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Mississippi, Louisiana, Georgia, Florida, South Carolina, Kentucky, Virginia, West Virginia, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Illinois, Iowa, Wisconsin.
Interesting.
You guys can have these.
Nothing in the Midwest. Nobody over here.
Yeah,
wants
yeah,
anything.
I was like,
Hey, when you see it on a map, it's
Yeah,
a
but
lot more
interesting
interesting
that
than.
it was right there, that interesting.
Yeah, that's the Rhode Island bill.
Yeah.
And this is the one, an act to facilitate the conversion of plastics. So this is Arkansas. do that as electronic.
Really,
too.
but
Yeah, it's,
This might as well be Chinese.
it's a lot of information, it's a lot of science,
Yeah.
and it's going to have to be very careful.
Thank you.
Well, this is interesting, just this one part. So I just happened to open this page and this is the parameters of it.
Oh,
2,000 feet of water,
Within, yeah,
2,000 feet of open space.
within a 1 mile of pre-existing public or private school, providing any. Yeah, interesting,
So,
college, university, preschool, and assisted living.
so that's the, so that would,
Yeah.
Yeah,
that would rule out that site, I mean, just based on that one. Piece I just happened to.
All the
open,
way
too.
that's written.
Yeah, the way it's written, I'm just like you said,
Yep.
instead of reinventing the wheel.
Yep.
That's then. If somebody ever said, what are you referring to? It's like, well, we're just going based on this, we started with this.
yeah.
I don't think that a bill being introduced is going to be fast.
No,
Yeah,
oh,
'cause
no,
They die quickly.
Yeah, it's,
So
they definitely do.
But-
They get lost
that's.
very quickly.
unless you have representatives who are on top of it, which they very may well be. But I think we should look at all possibilities.
I agree.
So,
Thank you. All right, so that brings us to our next meeting is August 26th.
sure.
We won't send a reminder, so that we block us.
He actually answers me, so I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
She can test me.
Well, that's why I was
I
like, why
said,
is
don't-
Earl
don't-
texting? That's why so
Nope,
confused.
it was me.
I said, don't group text me,
That's.
I'm going to get blocked.
That's why I'm like, this does not seem like him, I don't understand.
I've been getting like the texts and telephone calls from, I don't know, somebody that says I need to sign the paperwork for my loan, which I've not applied for a loan, so that he's like
Someone
tracking
answer
me
them.
now.
Right.
It's like, oh my gosh, so I'm like going, who is this from? All right, so August 26th works for everybody and.
Meeting at 7:22.
All right, we'll second it.
22, second and third, all in favor, we are